to own it. Just wanted to take the time, learn all the things that I could about you. Now it's such a mess here. Oh, we are just stressed here. Used to be so easy with you.
We are here at the Martial Arts Hall of Fame. How long have you been coming here, Michael?
For about maybe 10 years now. Yeah.
And you've won several awards. Tell us a little bit about your background.
Well, I'm a retired police sergeant, County of Los Angeles. I have about 55 years of martial arts experience.
Wow.
I've been doing it as an obsessed party for many years, and I have a pretty big following, but I play more of a role of an ambassador today because I love martial arts and I go internationally as well as domestic.
And you actually have people you're mentoring at the moment, really teaching them the ropes. How does that work?
It's working out just fine. I want to leave a legacy. A lot of my students are now masters.
Wow, that must be really rewarding to see
really
that.
is.
That's really how that transpires.
It really is.
I love that.
Yeah, so when I leave and the Lord calls me home, I will not be leaving without something behind.
I love that. Where can we follow you? Because you're a guy we want to see what's happening.
I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook, Michael T. Johnson, and I have my title Supreme Grandmaster there, and I use it pretty much as an advertisement.
And what award are you winning tonight?
I believe Dr. Thomas is giving me something along the lines of a Diamond Award because I've been in martial arts 55 years. Last year he granted me an award, Supreme Grandmaster of the Year.
When you win so many awards, it's hard to keep track.
It really
I
is,
understand that.
but I still love it though because some people have left this planet and they've never gotten any recognition at all, and that's heartbreaking. But not the case with me.
Who are you most excited about meeting tonight?
Everybody.
Who have you not met before that's here tonight?
Pretty much no one. I pretty much have met just about everyone because I like to socialize. I keep in touch with people through internet, and I just refuse not to keep in touch with people.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time to interview with us.
It was my pleasure, and I want to say thank you for having me.
Hello, how are you doing tonight?
Super excellent.
So you're the MC. How'd you get that role?
Well, this is what I do.
How long have you been in the martial arts world?
A little over 50 years.
Wow.
Yes, I'm only 68.
That is very impressive. And
Yes.
you're emceeing, so who are you excited to see here tonight?
Everybody that walks through that door. We got Art Camacho. We got a whole lot of boxers. We got Benny Urquidez.
Someone told me Oscar De La Hoya is going to be here.
Yes.
Oh, wow. Okay, so you kind of worked with everybody over time.
Yes, ma'am.
And so tell us what it is to be a host here, because you have to make everyone feel included, and it's kind of nice and intimate in there. It's big but intimate. How does
Absolutely.
that work?
Okay, first, I'm Dr. Frank de Goville. I'm an international fighter, champ, a gold medalist.
What kind of fighting?
Mixed martial arts, full contact.
Okay.
Yeah, so, during my journey, I've met a lot of interesting people.
And so what are some of the crazy stories you could tell us that you're allowed to say on TV?
Knocking people out. Don't get in the ring unless you want to get knocked out.
Do you still practice every day?
Yes, 4 days a week.
Wow, that is so impressive.
Yeah.
That's what keeps you young, because you do not look like you're as old as you are.
Well, thank you, thank you.
And so tonight, are there any surprises we should expect?
Well, every day is different, so every event there's a surprise. We have grandmasters that's 96, 97 years that still attend this function.
Wow. Well, I'm excited. I can't wait to see it. Where can we follow you? Are you on social media at all? You got to be.
Yes, I'm at Frank's Enterprise Karate Studio. Phone number is 323-447-7468. Email is caprofr@aol.com.
Well, thank you so much for talking to us
Thank
today.
you. Yes. Thank you.
I am here with the famous Art Camacho. I'm so glad to meet you in the flesh.
Oh, thank you so much. Really honored to be here.
How long have you been fighting?
No, fighting, I don't fight. How long have I been doing films? About 25, 30
You
years.
do your stunts in there.
No, I don't. Okay.
Oh, come on.
All right,
You're
okay.
so humble.
Okay. No, I've been doing stunts since 1990, believe it or not.
Wow. Okay, so who taught you? Like, how'd you get into that? You started into
You know,
film first, and then
I started a little bit into film. Martial arts, let me backtrack a little
Yeah,
bit.
let's backtrack.
I started martial arts when I was 16. because
Okay.
I got beat up. All the time.
you were
I was
that
bullied.
kid.
Yeah, I was that kid. And I started martial arts initially to beat the crap out of people, sadly. And slowly but gradually, I found my right instructor, which is Eric Lee.
Okay.
And that turned my whole life around because he became my martial arts instructor, my mentor, father figure, brother, you name it. And he guided me throughout. But I always had a passion for to be in films. And, you know, I started auditioning, started going out there, and he gave me my first break.
And that's really impressive because, I mean, back then, you know, us darker people, we weren't like in films as much. You kind of like were a breakthrough in multiple ways.
I was very, very blessed and very, very lucky, blessed, you name it. Because after that first film,
Which was?
Which was Ring of Fire.
Okay.
Ring of Fire. And I had starred in a couple films. Forgettable movies, of course. But after that, I started working more and more and more, started becoming in demand. I mean, I was doing, you know, I got about 150 films to my credit right now.
Wow.
I started as a stuntman, acting, started choreographing, second unit directing, finally directing, and then writing, producing, writing. As a matter of fact, this year, 2024, we had the #1 hit on Hulu called Ruthless.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, film I directed and wrote, starred, made the coffee, cleaned tables, you know, with a friend of mine, Dermot Mulroney, great actor. And yeah, it was a #1, and then it stayed in the top 10 for like 3 weeks, which was amazing.
That is impressive.
Because again, these are independent films, mind you. We're competing against Planet of the Apes, we're competing against studios.
Right.
And very lucky because God put this passion in me. God put the passion in me and the drive, and the drive, and the drive. Because I've had so many more failures than I can count, but the few successes I've had, I'm very blessed to have.
And that's what, do you think that you are successful too? Because you do everything, like you said, from the ground up. You'll make the coffee to the choreographing to everything. You know, some people at a certain point, it's like we just get stuck in our lane, and you'll do it all.
Well, yeah, you know what it is? It's not out of choice. It was, again, I'm not trying to be preachy, but God put me in these positions because, for instance, once I started doing stunts, I said, okay, this is my gig. I'm going to do fight stunts. Then a producer came up to me and said, hey, we need a fight choreographer. Can you help us? Okay. So I said, okay, I'll do it. And then I was really good at it. And then from there, same thing. One producer, one year, 2 producers asked me, do you want to direct movies? I never thought about directing. I thought,
Right.
you know, I'm serious.
That's a really different hat than what you were doing.
All directors, I'm thinking, they're on a pedestal. They're like there's God, and there's directors. And I did it, and I was very blessed because I did really well because the film we made, again, I'm throwing numbers out there so you understand what we're doing. We had a $700,000 budget. We came $650,000, so we $50,000 under. I saved them $50,000, and they grossed $2 million.
Wow.
On my first film.
Were you shocked about that? I mean, you didn't even have any directing experience.
No.
How'd you learn? This was before even you could Google stuff. So how'd you learn how to do camera and all that?
You know what it was is, again, the drive. I remember I was 17 when I got a job at an Orange Julius. 17. The company was so bad. They had such a high turnaround of employees, right? So this is a true story. 3 months later, I'm manager. Because they were getting fired, quitting. I was the last man standing. And so what they did, they started, you know, hey, you want to manage? So I said, okay. But I'm very smart when I work. I don't try to do it all. I don't micromanage. I teach you. If you work for me, I teach you how to do everything I do. So here I am, 18, 19 years old, and I taught all my minimum wage employees how to run a store. So I would go in there, open the store, get my comic books, sit in the toilet, and that was my job. And one day I had an epiphany. I'm sitting on the toilet reading comic books, and I thought, my God, I'm washed up at 21. I said, my life is done. All I'm going to do the rest of my life, sit on the toilet and read comic books. Threw that away, went to New York, lost everything, because I wanted to be an actor.
Wow.
Then I came back and started from the bottom. And, again, I just jump into things. I just jump into things whether I know it or not, And that's what happened there. Literally, from there, I found a friend who had a studio. They used to do a lot of commercials. And I went to him. I said, hey, I want to learn how to do the business. And he said, we don't have openings. He said, I'll work for free. So I started working at night, McDonald's, different jobs. In the day, I was cleaning toilets, scrubbing floors at a studio where they do a lot of commercials. And that's how I learned. I started watching how they direct films. And then I thought, you know what? I got to get closer to movies. So I started working as an extra for like 6 months in films. Again, extras, here's what they do. Again, not to put them down, but they're a vital part of the business. But most extras, they go to the set, they take their books, they sit down, they go to the craft service, they're drinking coffee, eating donuts, everything else. They show up, they go back. I did that for 2 weeks, put on a lot of weight. And then from there, I said, you know what, no, I'm wasting my time. So I would sneak in while they're shooting. I'd watch the directors direct. I'd watch the DP. I remember one film many years ago, I managed to sneak in while they had this big set and they had the camera set up. So I literally went in there while they were on their lunch break and started looking through the camera lens, seeing what the directors see. And that's what really captured me. I said, this is what I want to do.
That is so awesome. I love the story. And then, not to embarrass you, but you spent some time in my neck of the woods.
Yep,
in the Central Valley. So why were you there?
Well, I have family there.
Okay, so you had family in Fresno.
Family in Fresno, and I was such a screw up here. And my parents sent me with my uncle, and that's where I learned jewelry, because my uncle had in the Fulton Mall, I think it was.
Oh, yeah.
He had a jewelry shop at the Fulton Mall. And so at 16, I learned how to do jewelry. I learned how to set stones, and I tell you, pimps would take rings in there, all kinds of gold. We melt it, make new rings out of it. And he used to do jewelry for like Dean Martin and Sammy Davis Jr. in those days. And very, very blessed. And then I stayed there. I loved it. I loved the whole experience. I was not going to leave. As a matter of fact, I was even close to shacking up with this lady 10 years older than I was with a kid. I was so in love with her. And God, as God would have it, he took me back to L.A., which is good and bad, I ended up in films. So, and that's why. But at present, I've gone back so many times because I love it. I love the energy. I love here. I told you, here I have to be on. I have to work. This is my job. But when I go there, it's like, I throw everything away. Even now, I once I started doing films, everybody's telling me, move to the valley, move to here, wherever the films are. And I said, no, I'm moving south. I want to get away, because I'm not Hollywood. I'm not Hollywood. I'm just very blessed. I'm very lucky. And I'm just working, Right now, I just finished a film called The Wrecker with Harvey Keitel.
Oh, wow.
Tyrese, Danny Trejo, Mina Savari, Chad Michael Collins. Wow, how cool is that? And it's sort of like Mad Max kind of vibe to it. But and then we got other films that right now I'm developing, and just I can't tell you. I'm just lucky and blessed. I'm blessed to be here.
Oh, we're appreciating.
I love this lady is something else. She is amazing energy. Obviously very beautiful, but also inside very beautiful.
Thank you. Yeah, I have interviewed Danny Trejo. What was it like to work with them?
The sweetest guy on the planet. Quick story. We're shooting a film. Obviously, we're shooting at a cemetery. His car was late to bring him to his lunch. It was lunchtime, and so I said, "Here, get in my car. I'll drive you to lunch." And as we're driving, all kinds of probably about 5, 6 people here, 8 people there, people on the sides of the streets. They recognize Danny Trejo. So they're taking pictures with their cars, and we're driving, and Danny tells me to stop. Okay, we stop. He gets out of the car, and then he goes to every one of them, make sure everyone got all their pictures. Then he's late for lunch, doesn't matter. He gets all their pictures, then he comes back and goes. He tells me
that's a great story.
And he says how lucky he is. How lucky he is. He's so blessed, and he has that vibe, that energy, And again, I work with some really hard actors. I'm not going to name them, but Danny is a jewel as a human being.
So, Art, where do we follow you on social media?
You could Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. I'm finding my way around there.
That's just Art Camacho across the board.
Art Camacho. You'll notice this. You'll notice this. You can't miss it.
Thank you so much for speaking with us today.
No, thank you. Thank you.
we are so delighted to have you here. You look gorgeous as always.
So do you. That's spectacular.
So tell our viewers what you've been up to. You've had a long career and you've been knighted.
A couple times.
Oh my goodness. Tell us about that.
Triple Daned.
Triple. I didn't even know that was possible.
So,
Okay.
different orders. And,
Okay.
But I think that the most amazing thing about the martial arts, and I love being here, I recently went from Rome to Egypt to Doha in Qatar, into India, and then into Singapore. And recently I was also in Kathmandu in Nepal. And one of the things is we go to a lot of the orphanages, and a lot of these kids in a lot of countries have nothing. They don't have swimming pools, they don't have basketball courts, they don't have gymnasiums, some of them don't even have a ball to play with. But martial arts is something that you have power inside, and you can do. It doesn't matter how wealthy you are, it doesn't matter where you were born, it doesn't matter if you have parents, it doesn't matter any class, it doesn't matter anything that's happened in life that's knocked you down. Martial arts is a power inside, and it's a power inside and outside. And what I found in working in the humanitarian field and being all over the world, I've now been in 69 countries as
Wow.
the ambassador of kindness. And the one thing that I've learned is that so many of the martial artists and the boxing champions are the greatest humanitarians in the world. They're the people that are touching hearts, touching lives, making a difference. And the people that are trained to fight don't fight. The people that are
Wow.
trained to
I've heard
fight
this before.
do not fight. They have the tenderest, most loving, kindest hearts in the world, and it's people that are not trained to fight that want to
go
fight,
at it.
that want to go at it.
It's like they learn the
that's
self-control when they
right.
learn to
so
fight.
it's a, it's a discipline. So I feel so blessed to be here again, and each and every person, and to be representing martial arts and to be representing kindness around the world.
How long have you been fighting?
Gosh, I fell into martial arts by mistake. I fell into martial arts. I was a champion dancer and acrobat. I was an undefeated world champion, 220 out of 220 competitions I won. And a friend of mine was taking martial arts, and I went with just because I was curious and I wanted to see what they were doing. And I forgot the keys to my car. When I got to my car and I went back in, and the class after my class, they were drumming and people were flying through the air. And
No
I said,
way.
What is that? And they said, that's capoeira. And I said, that's me. That's what I do.
that's what you
I
do."
do dance and acrobatics and this choreography. And
Wow.
I stepped right in, and then through that, I've learned all of the other martial arts, and I've absolutely loved it. So it's been great. So it's been wonderful.
And then your family, your parents are here. What did they think about it when you first got into it?
My parents are amazing. My parents have always given me a launching pad to be able to do whatever I want and every dream of
They must have got a
mine.
little
And
scared that you're fighting. They're like,
my
what are you
dad
doing?
is so fearless. My dad used to put me on his hands and he would throw me in the air. And so my dad really launched the ability to fly. And my dad said to me once, he said, honey, you are harder to raise than 14 bad children. And I said, what are you talking about? And he said, no, it's actually true. He said, if you have a bad child, you reprimand them. He said, a sick child, you get them medical care. Scholastically, you get a child tutored. Financially, you always put a roof over a child's head. He said, but you, my baby, would stand on top of a cliff and you jump and you go, Daddy, watch! He said, your whole childhood, our hearts were in our stomachs. We never knew, but I was so fearless. But they gave me the wings to fly. And they gave me the confidence that I could do absolutely anything, and that I was strong enough, and I was brave enough, and courageous enough, and loving enough to be able to come up against anybody and to hug them or to protect myself in life. And my parents are, I've been blessed with so many gifts, but my parents are the greatest gift. I think I was in front of the line with the parents. I think it was just like right there. So it's so wonderful to have them here with me, and this experience, and everybody that's in martial arts and everybody that's thinking about going into martial arts. It's the greatest sport. It's the greatest arena, because you are learning from the inside out, from your heart to the very outside of the world and to the parameters. And it doesn't matter what country or what culture, there is a martial arts for you. There is a way of expressing yourself, expressing your body. It doesn't matter if you have a knife body or a fork body or a spoon body. It doesn't matter if you're straight or if you have strong legs or you're flexible. There is a martial arts sport for you. It doesn't matter your size. There is a martial arts sport for you. It is for every human being on the planet and for every heart and every soul. And I feel very privileged to represent this sport.
Thank you so much for speaking with us today. How do we follow you?
NicoleBrandon.com.
On all of it and all the platforms.
And all of the platforms, yes.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Right.
Well, thank you so much for speaking with us today.
Thanks for inviting me, Sparkle.
So you've had a pretty interesting career. So Earth, Wind, and Fire is one of my favorite bands.
Oh, good job.
So tell us what you do. You work with them and worked with Santana. So tell us a little bit about that.
So, well, thank you. No, I play the piano and pretty much anything with the keyboard on it, right? So I started,
How long have you been doing that?
Since I was 5, and started off on the accordion, which is kind of an unusual thing, right? And then,
Right.
but I switched over to the piano when I was about 11 years old, and I haven't stopped since then. Been playing my whole life.
Where'd you grow up?
I'm actually a native Evangelino, a Californian.
That's rare. That's actually rare.
I know, it's not too many of us, not too many of us. But yeah, I was born in Los Angeles, and I've had the privilege of working with a lot of different people, from Prince and Madonna, to Carlos Santana, to Sergio Mendes.
Oh, wow.
If you know
So
Brazil.
everybody's older than you. How'd you get into that? You come in, this young talent. Did you even know the music when you started playing, auditioning for them?
The funny thing is I grew up on all the people that I played with, I was listening to when I was a teenager. So it's a trip that I got to work with so many.
Did you get a little starstruck? Were you kind of like, wow, I can't believe I'm actually working with them right now?
Yeah. I had to pinch myself half the time because I was starstruck initially. But once I got into it, the music just took over. Because the music is sexy and exciting and passionate, and it's nice to lean into that. That's where I like to lean in.
What was one of the things that surprised you most?
In the music,
Yeah.
I'd say the thing was how down to earth the people were. Working with, like when I worked with Madonna, she was we were talking a little bit, she was pregnant with her first child. I was working with her on the movie Evita,
Oh, wow. I love that movie.
right? That she was playing Eva Peron. And I was in the studio with her, recording with her. And she wanted to talk about Billy Strayhorn, who was the gay band arranger who was working with Duke Ellington during the height of Duke Ellington. That's what she wanted to talk about. And I thought it was fascinating that she was that inside of the culture, that she cared so much. That's what I liked so much.
What did you feel about going on tour with some of these bands? What was the tour life like?
Okay, it looks like it's very glamorous. But
not.
But living
not.
out of a suitcase, But being on the bus and exchanging stories, or being on airplanes, especially the private jet stuff, that was pretty cool, I have to say. That was really nice. And we got to, especially with Carlos Santana, we got to do some very, fly into Croatia, play in front of 18,000 people, run off a field,
Wow.
and have security get you back in a van and get out before they let everyone out in the stadium. Otherwise, you're caught in 3 hours of traffic.
You ever felt like you were like going on the run or something?
It was kind of like the Beatles for a second.
Oh my goodness.
It was really, really great.
I like his shoes. Can you get me a pair of shoes? What's the deal with the shoes? Carlos Santana's shoes.
Oh, those are made in St. Louis, So that's where you got to get them. But
You have great style. I was like, did you help design that or what?
Thank you. Yeah, no, it's great. No, Carlos is one of the great joys of my life was working with the great Carlos Santana.
So what are you doing currently? Who are you working with? What's going on?
So here's what I'm doing now in my life, more than anything. I'm the founder of a thing called Life in Tune.
Oh, I like it.
And Life in Tune is a whole new way of looking at melody, harmony, and rhythm, the 3 elements of music. And I use melody to talk about leadership, because who's ever dealing with the melody is like the lead singer. They're the lead of music. So melody is always in a leadership position, and harmony, like Sparkle and I are together, you cannot do harmony with one person. You need at least 2 people, right? I like to say 1 + 1 doesn't equal 2. When I'm with Sparkle, 1 + 1 = 11. Because she's an amplifier. And I've known you for what, 4 minutes?
That's all it takes.
But you can, that's all it takes. But you can feel the harmony. You can feel that this woman is radiant, right? So harmony is an act of increasing the energy of things, right? And in music, you need 2 or more notes to make harmony, right? So we've talked about melodies, the lead, harmonies, collaboration, and rhythm, time management. It's all about the drummer. It's all about the timing and the tempo. So I use rhythm to talk about productivity. And I get hired by like Fortune 500 companies.
I bet.
And I speak all around the world. I've done 86 countries so far.
Wow.
And I do this with a piano.
Is that all you do?
Oh, everything.
Oh my gosh, that is so busy. 86. How long did it take you to travel all over?
Well, that's my lifetime working.
Okay.
That's not like yesterday.
But this is
that's cumulative.
You've been doing this for a while though with this speaking. So what do you like more? Because you touch a lot of people doing the speaking, but the music is your passion. So tell us how that works.
Here's the trick. When I'm doing the speaking, I have a piano on stage. So I still bring the music with me. It's really hard for me to get out of bed without music. So I just bring it with me.
You bring it wherever you go.
You got to. But here's the thing. We all have a heartbeat. So all of us are carrying music around because we have a drummer inside of all of us.
I love that.
Right? So everyone, I mean, we're human beings. We are living, breathing. Music's in our DNA. It's part of who we are. It's the oldest language in the world, right? We've been using words and the written word and the spoken word for about 5,000 years. But Sparkle, they found a flute in a cave in Germany made from a vulture's bone.
Wow.
And it's 40,000 years old, right? So we've been doing music for tens of thousands of years. And music is really more who we are than speaking words. Music is resonant. Our body is making vibration and harmony and sound. So my thinking was, why not use the oldest language in the world to teach people how to be good listeners, to how to be better connected, to how to be more congruent with each other. And I think the planet, our planet, we're kind of in a major funk right now, right? We have a lot of people that are not communicating well. We have people that are making assumptions about each other before they even say anything, right? And that's a problem, right? Making an assumption about people is a prejudgment. So if we can become really good listeners, right, we become more present for each other. And if we become more present for each other, there's less judgment. And everyone has a voice. Everyone's got a melody to sing. Harmony can be created, and rhythm can be honored.
I love that. Thank you so much for talking to us. Where can we follow you and see what you're doing?
Everyone's invited to go to lifeintune.com. And over there, we're going to be launching really a movement, because music, everyone thinks music's about entertainment. It is, but it's way more than that. It's really a multitasking power tool to help us live our best life.
I love that. We are going to follow you. Thank you so much for speaking with us today.
Thanks for having me, Sparkle. It's a pleasure. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Well, hello. You got this amazing award. Tell us about it.
You know what? I was fortunate to get inducted in my 3rd Martial Arts Hall of Fame. So I'm excited, and more excited because my grandson's here. And I wanted to be a part of everything because that's the next generation. My daughter, she won her title, so it's time for him to get his, and all of us have titles.
Oh, he's going to surpass all of you guys. Come on.
Okay.
That's the goal, right?
Yes, that's the goal.
So tell us about, you have a place right now, and I'd love to come by and check it out. So tell us about that.
Well, I'm located in the town of Whittier, California. Address is 7844. Oh, that's my house. Sorry. 11712 Whittier, Washington Boulevard in Whittier. So, Valdez Muay Thai Kickboxing.
I'd love to check that out. So tell us about the people that you have going there now. Do you have people actually training for like champion fights?
We have people that just want to get in shape, special need kids, at-risk kids.
Oh, I love that. Okay.
Not everybody wants to be a fighter, but the ones that are, take that little extra time to work out with them a little bit harder. But yeah, it's pretty much everybody goes over there and has fun. No cockiness. Everybody's welcome.
That's the great thing about martial arts, right? You take all that away from you.
Yeah, you gotta you know what I mean? Gotta be humble.
Right.
Yeah.
So what about this? We have a fight coming up. What's going on with that?
Nothing, just staying as humble as possible, training hard as I can, try my best to limit down those off days, and just keep working hard and keep going.
There you go.
What's it like seeing generation after generation? Because
it's ridiculous.
It's stressful when you do it. What is it like watching them do it?
Well, my daughter thought it was stressful, and it was like driving me crazy. Once she won that title, I was good to go. Then this knucklehead right here, he's an animal. He's gonna do what he does. Like I say, he's not cocky. Does what he's got to do, and we should be all right.
All right, so what do I need to do to get some of these gloves? I mean, it has to be special. It has to be the family, huh?
You gotta just train real hard.
Oh man.
And save your money, and God willing.
Okay, you got 2 and he got 1. Is that a matter of how many fights, or how does that work?
It's just what happened with this. I melted them down, and I gave all my kids one,
I
not
love
2.
that.
So yeah.
Oh, so you got the 2.
I got the 2. I got to stay with the 2.
So where can we follow you? I want to see what you have going on and when we can come out and check it out.
Contact me at Valdez Muay Thai Kickboxing.
Okay.
And that's pretty much how you contact me.
So when I go there for the first time, are you going to go easy on me or are you going to kick my butt?
Well, we're going to go enough to where you're going to learn something. We don't want to go too easy on you because what's the sense? You know what I mean?
Well, he's not going to teach me, is he? He's going to go hard on me. I could already tell that.
No.
Ah, okay. Do you have an Instagram? Do you have social media yet?
Yes, George Valdez. You can find me on Instagram. My mom runs Facebook. You see me a little bit on there too. Yeah.
Too many Georges, but we'll make do. Thank you so much for talking to us today.
Thank you for having us. God bless you.
Thank you. God bless.
Thank you.
So your whole family, I mean, you guys are a talent. Tell us about your last fight, because I heard you're the butt kicker of the family.
Well, the last time I fought was when I was 17 years old, and it was actually during one of my dad's smoker fights. So I had actually went with my boyfriend at the time, and he was just like, "Daughter, her opponent didn't show up, so get in there."
Are you serious? There was no prep. You just
No. I mean, I was already training, so this fight I actually wasn't, but
And you won?
Yeah.
Oh, that's really sad for the other one. She was all prepared and you came in there and wow.
Yeah, I came with my hair all cute, I curled it, I came in a cute outfit and everything, and he was just like, "Daughter, get your shorts off the wall and go fill in," because her opponent didn't show up.
Wow.
So, yeah.
And that was your last fight? Why was that the last one when you did so well?
Well, I mean, I was so busy with schoolwork and my job and just, training and running the gym too, so.
I was just saying, you just go and win fights on your off time. That's crazy. Oh my God. And so have you won an award here at the Martial Arts Hall of Fame?
Not yet.
Not
That's
yet.
the goal.
That is so. And then, so your kid's doing it too, or tell us the story. There's other.
No, I don't have any kids.
Okay, so that's your nephew.
That's my nephew. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
I can't.
my baby.
And what's it like to watch him do that?
Honestly, it's crazy because I just remember my dad, his grandpa, just training him with mitts a little bit, in the gym, just messing around, and now he's doing it for real. So just seeing that, it's just it's my baby.
Oh my gosh. Well, I am proud of you. I can't wait to see what you guys are doing. What's your social media so we can keep up with you?
Mine is Gigi Valdez _Muay Thai, and you can follow our main page at Valdez Muay Thai.
Well, thank you so much for talking with us today.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Oh, I am here with the body slamming queen. I love that name.
It was my finishing move when I was pro wrestling. Did you know that?
That's why you. I know. I didn't know that was your finishing move.
Yeah. Well, body slams were supposed to be finishing moves, but then pro wrestling just got to where it was a little too flashy, and body slams are getting used all the time. Nonetheless, you could always expect a big old body slam from me in pro wrestling.
Okay, so you went from pro wrestling to MMA, and a lot of us are really dumb like me, so you got to really speak to us, explain the difference.
WWE is pro wrestling. As it was coming up, it was real, right? But then they had to admit that it was entertainment. Right. I don't know what's fake about slamming your body on someone else's body or throwing a body on the ground after you pick them up and spun them around.
Right.
But, maybe the story is a little fake. But when I was pro wrestling, I thought maybe I should learn some real moves. And so I was like, I'm going to go to the MMA gym. Because, Ronda was really big at that time. And I thought it was cool. So I just found the nearest one on my Google Maps, I find everything. And that night I went, there was no MMA class. It was jiu-jitsu. And I'm like, what the hell is that? And they said, here. And they put this kimono on me. And I'm like, what the hell is this? All I know is these little girls, after big me Okay, we had to sit down because I'm like 6'4" in these shoes. That's why we're sitting down.
You can show the shit.
Can you see them?
Yeah.
So anyway, these little girls were just choking my ass out. And
they were littler than you.
Yeah.
So you're like, what the? I need to learn this because if I'm this height, I can maybe do some damage.
Totally.
Okay.
I fell in love. So I think everybody, I recommend to anybody, children, women especially, but anybody at any age to start jiu-jitsu. Anyway, being at the jiu-jitsu gym, they were like, you want to do a fight? I'm like, not for real. I'm a pro wrestler. But I was like, I'll try one. And then here I am, professional fighter.
So what'd you do with your last fight? Tell us about that.
I felt so good. I never felt better mentally and emotionally. I think that had a lot to do with where I'm at in my life. Leading up to a fight camps are hard, a lot of injuries. I didn't have major injuries. Fighters always do. There's just small injuries that are nagging, like my tendonitis. But I just felt so good, and I knew I was going to win. I knew it. It was for a title belt. I even had my speech. Like I would never forget when my coach told me that he was practicing a speech instead of thinking about the fight. I was like, what? Really? I'd be like so nervous. But I just felt that good. Not trying to be bombastic or cocky, and we certainly didn't want to underestimate her, but I just felt so good in what I knew I was capable of, and what we've seen that we could do with her. But no belittling to her. She has stronger punches than we imagine and very long arms. But she rocked me in the first round. I was rocked. I was spinning like the whole.
Were you shocked?
I did my best to not go down. So that's
wow.
Yeah, and I couldn't hear my coach. Like, I don't know if that was why, but sometimes you get concussions and lose fights.
And then you say you're not going to go out on it. You want to go on a bang. So that was going to be your last fight. You were thinking.
Well,
maybe.
I was thinking that, especially during the weight cut, and I was like, man, I hate this weight cut. I went to my 6th grade weight, not even high school. That was my 6th. That's the lowest I've been since 6th grade.
Wow.
It was
how
so
miserable
hard.
was that?
It was the most dreadful thing. So I know I'm capable of it, and if I'm capable of that, you guys are capable. People are capable of anything. Like you can do a diet. But now I'm stuffing my face with too much peanut butter and jellies.
So you're going to do it again. Okay, so what's the deal now? What's kind of the game plan for the next year?
So I got a couple other opportunities going on, so I had to turn down a July fight. But I think these opportunities are what I really wanted, was to start planting seeds for what I'm going to eventually really invest the rest of my life in. One of them probably should be a husband. What do you think?
For sure.
Congratulations, by the way.
Oh, yeah, well, anyway. Back to you.
Then obviously I want to fight, because I'm definitely not going to just stop fighting out of nowhere. Some people are asking me, like, are you going to fight again? I'm like, how come no one's asking me that after my wins? Like, that's when I probably should have acted like I wasn't. But, I feel like there's just so much to life to do, and fighting takes so much time and energy. I don't give time and energy to much else, which
and you
is crazy.
also act and model. There's other things you do.
Boy, I feel like I do. And compared to my teammates who are like UFC fighters and like just diehard, amazing, world-class athletes, I am nothing as far as commitment goes to fighting like they are. But I'm trying to balance my life, and plan for my future as well.
And on
most
that
of them are
note,
married and have wives and children, like already settled their lives.
You do have a lot of inspirational quotes on your Instagram, which everyone needs to follow, Body Slamming Queen. And you always give us some good tidbits. And you do travel and you do some cool stuff. So tell us about that. Is that some stuff you want to get more into? Is that why you kind of want to cut back a little on fighting and go and travel to?
No, I'm not cutting back on fighting any more than I ever have. But I always travel to a new country every year.
Well, I feel like I've seen you travel to like 5 countries in the last so many months.
No, just one. Well, I work around the country when I get my wrestling gigs, but
you said about balance, and you do give us a lot of inspiration. That's what you do talk a lot about balance on your feed.
It's a process, and that's why I'm really thankful for martial arts. Like it's taught me so much about myself, and just that mind-body connection and understanding and having a relationship with my body. Martial arts is meant to be a teacher. It's a teacher.
And I love that you apply into like every aspect of your life. And that's why everyone kind of needs to follow you, because you always give us, whether you mean to or not, you give us little tidbits of good wisdom.
I feel like no one gives a fuck about anything, but I just put it out there anyway, and that's that.
Thank you so much for being here and talking with us tonight.
I love this girl. Thank you.
I'm excited to finally get to interview you. So tell our audience who you are and what you do.
I'm Grant Smith. I am here at the USA Martial Arts Hall of Fame, put on by Jim Thomas. We're in Costa Mesa, California, and we are here to showcase some of our martial art talent. So today we had many seminars, great practitioners. We had a great showing, lots of students, lots of masters, lots of grandmasters came. We shared our knowledge, we shared some funny stories, and we had a lot of camaraderie. So it was a full day, started at 8 o'clock this morning, and now here we are. It's dark 30, and we are still going. The award ceremony just ended, and there were a lot of awards given and so many great speeches.
I love that. So the Three Amigos, for everybody, you gotta explain this. You really gotta dive into that.
Okay, so let me explain the Three Amigos. The Three Amigos was it was a concept between myself and Dana Abbott and Mark Shuey. And so what we were thinking about the movie, and we were thinking about these three actors that kind of stumbled upon a dangerous situation. So we took that persona and we donned the sombreros, and we just entered the Hall of Fame one time at Jim Thomas's, probably 7 years ago. And it was a shock to everybody, but it was a hit right off the bat.
It was kind of a joke. You guys
it was a joke at the first,
happens.
But everyone took us seriously.
That is really funny.
It was great. It was great, and it just grew from there on. And now, 7 years later, we actually inducted new amigos, and so we just started bringing people in. And before we know it, in the next 10 years, there's going to be a room full of sombreros.
I love that. Okay, so where can we follow you guys? And if we want to hire you for a party or wedding or event, how do we hire you?
Let me see. There is Samurai Sports. Okay, Samurai Sports is still a handle that you can find us. You can find me on Facebook. I'm in Fountain Hills, Arizona. Grant Smith and Dana Abbott. Also, Mark Shuey is the cane master. Dana Abbott is the Shihan sword master, and I'm a Taekwondo guy. I've been doing it about 44 years or so. I'm under DK Shin in the Bay Area, and I've been a practitioner for years and years and years. It's something I started when I was a kid. I never gave it up, and it's not about the fighting, it's about leadership, and it's about discipline, and it's about drive. How we're affecting today's youth. Not every kid out there is going to be a team player. What that means is they're not going to want to be in soccer or in baseball. It's just team sports is not their thing. But martial arts is an individual, even though you're on a team as a school, it is a personal journey. And we're trying to provide this for the kids in our community. And it's proven so successful in many communities throughout California, throughout the United States. And it's a wonderful thing, and we want to keep it going.
I love that. So wait, you guys are going to entertain for us and kick people's butts at the same time? You guys have your fight talents and your musical talents. I love that.
We want to do it all. We've actually done screenplays where we wanted to implement the Three Amigos as a comedy relief and something very serious. But that still remains to be seen.
Well, we're going to follow you everywhere. What's your personal Instagram again?
I don't have an Instagram. I'm old.
You're not that old. Well, I mean, where am I supposed to stalk you? Can you give us
You're supposed to stalk me on Facebook. You can find me on Facebook, Grant Smith in Fountain Hills, Arizona.
There we go. Thank you so much for talking with us today.
Thank you so much, Sparkle.
I'm thinking you be Mr. Martin Cronin. Boys, go back inside now.
I'm in search of someone that fancies himself a shootist.
What you need a gun hand for?
Gotta find someone, settle a score. Please let Mary still be alive.
What is the matter? They're coming. The men that killed my family.
We had a specific plan to follow.
White came looking for Everett. He can track like nobody else can. If I do this, I will do it for her.
Where is she? Dear Father God, I come to you with anger and revenge in my heart. I know that vengeance is yours. I ask that you allow me to be the vessel of that vengeance.
I've been in the industry for 10 years, and I've seen a lot of shifts in the market over those 10 years. Prior to that, I was a deputy sheriff for Fresno County and served 15 years where I was medically retired after being shot in the line of duty. I had tried lending for a while, and I did not really enjoy that as much, but being with the people, that's what I really did enjoy. So taking them from sometimes people that aren't sure if they can even afford a home and showing them how they can leverage their time and their money, fix their credit, and get them to the point that they can now go out and purchase a home. And buying your first home, much less any other home at any given time, is a tremendous feeling of accomplishment, because I truly believe we still have the American dream, and to be able to help people achieve that, that just fills me with so much pride, and I feel fulfilled as well as successful. There's two different things. You know, you have what you can afford on paper, and then your comfort level, because your lifestyle and what you live like and what you want to be able to do does matter. We don't want you to be house poor and pocket rich, or vice versa, where you're just like, man, I cannot afford the monthly payments. So pairing that up with what your goals is extremely important, and getting below the surface level to understand why we're doing what we're doing. And in order for you to do that, you really have to know the people, you have to get to talk to them, and they really have to trust you. Once you've built that bond and they trust you going forward, then you work together as a team so that you're not having conflict going through the process. When purchasing or selling a home, it's the biggest transaction most people will have in their life. What I do is I come in and I try and take all the stress off you. Allow me to take on the stress so you can relax. Yeah, people ask me about my car all the time. I have Mr. Fresno plastered across the side on both sides, big, huge lettering. It goes front to back. That's very interesting. When I first put it on there, of course, I was a little nervous, let's be honest. But as I started driving around, people would continually ask me, what is Mr. Fresno? A lot of times people, I found out, will even Google it. And what that does is it boosts me up in the higher rankings. So when you look up Fresno real estate or you look up Mr. Fresno, I'm always in the top 3. I can take somebody that I barely met, don't know anything about them, and by the end of it, we're friends and we're being invited over for coffees afterwards, and I maintain those relationships. Because I truly believe it's a relationship business, not selling home business. The idea is that no matter what, you want to leave people feeling that they were heard and that they matter. And so that's what I try and do with each person. So about 2 years ago, this mother of 2 children, single mother of 2 children, was a vet, and she had never purchased a home. Her entire life has been spent renting. She was paying quite a bit amount, and so when she talked to me, we started just talking the idea of it. I was like, do you realize how much money you're spending per year that you're giving away building? You're still purchasing a home, it's just you're purchasing somebody else's home for them and their children. So we explained how the process was, we broke it down, and we went searching. And once we finally got into a place where she could, she was like, I can't believe that here I am, this age, she was older, and she says that I'm barely buying my first house, but she felt so accomplished that she's doing it. 2 years later, she made quite a bit of equity off of it, and now she's selling it. And so she called me and says, George, I'm ready to move forward with other plans in my next level in the future. So we're selling the home now. But what was really cool is the other weekend, she needed to move and she didn't have anybody to help. I asked her if she needed anything. She said no, but I found out that she had nobody to help her. So me and a couple guys just drove up. We showed up on her moving day while her truck was out there, and she started crying because we showed up. And that's the type of relationship I want to build. No matter what, from start to finish and thereafter, they can call me and I'll be there. Mr. Fresno, as I go in there and I say, hey, I'm not just George Osborne, I'm Mr. Fresno. I'm a designated local expert with the DLE network, selected out of thousands of applicants that applied for the same city name, but they chose me. Why did they choose me? They choose me because I get my clients the most favorable terms in the shortest amount of times for the most amount of money. Those are the three basic things. So why am I Mr. Fresno? I was born and raised here. I raised a family here. I've worked here as a deputy sheriff. I've given back to the community in various organizations, volunteer work, and I love watching the community grow. I want it to be a healthy environment for future families as well as my own family to have a homestead, to be able to grow, own homes, and prosper.
Felt right in the moment, felt right in the summertime. It felt right drinking cherry wine with you. Just wanted to own it, just wanted to take the time, learn all the things that I could about you. Now it's such a mess here, oh we are just stressed here. Used to be so easy with you. Now I must confess here, oh I must confess dear, don't think I'm in love with you. Winter is coming and I don't know what to do, and there's no more use in running, no more running to you. And I don't want your loving, I don't wanna be just friends, knowing all this time we were playing pretend.
It's a mystery.
Hi, I'm Sparkle Sujin, and I am the host of the Everything Sparkle Show. I would like to invite you to come and hang out with me every Thursday at 4 p.m. Pacific Time, 7 p.m. Eastern, as I interview the world one guest at a time. Everything Sparkle is available on Roku, Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and CMAC.tv. Plus, if you're in the Central California area, you can watch on Comcast Xfinity Channel 93 or AT&T Uverse Channel 99. Hope to see you there.
I've been in the industry for 10 years, and I've seen a lot of shifts in the market over those 10 years. Prior to that, I was a deputy sheriff for Fresno County and served 15 years where I was medically retired after being shot in the line of duty. I had tried lending for a while and I did not really enjoy that as much, but being with the people, that's what I really did enjoy. So taking them from sometimes people that aren't sure if they can even afford a home and showing them how they can leverage their time and their money, fix their credit, and get them to the point that they can now go out and purchase a home. And buying your first home, much less any other home at any given time, is a tremendous feeling of accomplishment, because I truly believe we still have the American dream, and to be able to help people achieve that, that just fills me with so much pride, and I feel fulfilled as well as successful. There's two different things. You know, you have what you can afford on paper, and then your comfort level, because your lifestyle and what you live like and what you want to be able to do does matter. We don't want you to be house poor and pocket rich, or vice versa, where you're just like, man, I cannot afford the monthly payments. So pairing that up with what your goals is extremely important, and getting below the surface level to understand why we're doing what we're doing. And in order for you to do that, you really have to know the people, you have to get to talk to them, and they really have to trust you. Once you've built that bond and they trust you going forward, then you work together as a team so that you're not having conflict going through the process. When purchasing or selling a home, it's the biggest transaction most people will have in their life. What I do is I come in and I try and take all the stress off you. Allow me to take on the stress so you can relax. Yeah, people ask me about my car all the time. I have Mr. Fresno plastered across the side on both sides, big, huge lettering. It goes front to back. That's very interesting. When I first put it on there, of course, I was a little nervous, let's be honest. But as I started driving around, people would continually ask me, what is Mr. Fresno? A lot of times people, I found out, will even Google it. And what that does is it boosts me up in the higher rankings. So when you look up Fresno real estate or you look up Mr. Fresno, I'm always in the top 3. I can take somebody that I barely met, don't know anything about them, and by the end of it, we're friends and we're being invited over for coffees afterwards, and I maintain those relationships because I truly believe it's a relationship business, not selling home business. The idea is that no matter what, you want to leave people feeling that they were heard and that they matter. And so that's what I try and do with each person. So about 2 years ago, this mother of 2 children, single mother of 2 children, was a vet, and she had never purchased a home. Her entire life has been spent renting. She was paying quite a bit amount, and so when she talked to me, we started just talking the idea of it. I was like, do you realize how much money you're spending per year that you're giving away building? You're still purchasing a home, it's just you're purchasing somebody else's home for them and their children. So we explained how the process was, we broke it down, and we went searching. And once we finally got into a place where she was like, I can't believe that here I am, this age, she was older, and she says that I'm barely buying my first house, but she felt so accomplished that she's doing it. 2 years later, she made quite a bit of equity off of it, and now she's selling it. And so she called me and says, George, I'm ready to move forward with other plans in my next level in the future. So we're selling the home now. But what was really cool is the other weekend, she needed to move. And she didn't have anybody to help. I asked her if she needed anything, she said no, but I found out that she had nobody to help her. So me and a couple guys just drove up. We showed up on her moving day while her truck was out there, and she started crying because we showed up. And that's the type of relationship I want to build. No matter what, from start to finish and thereafter, they can call me and I'll be there. Mr. Fresno, as I go in there and I say, hey, I'm not just George Osborne, I'm Mr. Fresno. I'm a designated local expert with the DLE network, selected out of thousands of applicants that applied for the same city name, but they chose me. Why did they choose me? They choose me because I get my clients the most favorable terms in the shortest amount of times for the most amount of money. Those are the 3 basic things. So why am I Mr. Fresno? I was born and raised here. I raised a family here. I've worked here as a deputy sheriff. I've given back to the community in various organizations, volunteer work, and I love watching the community grow. I want it to be a healthy environment for future families as well as my own family to have a homestead, to be able to grow, own homes, and prosper.
Hey everyone, are you rad for Christ? Are you fired up for Jesus? Hey, my name is Drew and I'm the host of Radical Christianity. That's a talk show about what God has in action. Hey, I would love for you to join us. We drop a new episode every week. You can find us on Roku, Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, LinkedIn. Search for us, you'll probably find us. We hope that you'll join us for some comedy, some music, some interesting talk about Jesus with some great guests. I really hope to see you there.